Hey, everybody, it's Tara. So, when I started out doing this work, helping women play bigger, there are some things that I kind of expected would be part of the conversation. I knew we would need to talk about fear and how to move through fear. I knew we would need to talk about how to work with self doubt. I knew there'd probably be some part about clarifying what we really wanted and our vision, our sense of purpose. But there was something I really didn't know was going to come up again and again for every client I was working with. But I started to see the pattern. And this same issue manifested in a lot of different ways. For some people, it was, oh gosh, now in my career, I'm at a senior enough level, more advanced level. I'm getting really tough feedback from clients, from colleagues, and it is weighing me down. And I'm starting to wonder if this isn't the job or the industry for me, because I really go on a roller coaster with the feedback. For another client, that same issue manifested really differently. She had been working in the field of domestic violence prevention for 20 years, and she had a vision for the innovative approach she wanted to take to that work, something that was based in all her experience, but that was really a gap in the traditional services. And yet she was so scared when we really got down to it and had an honest conversation about what was blocking her. She was really scared about how her mentors and the established leaders in her field were probably going to criticize this new approach. And then for somebody else, it was, I'm so used to doing the thing that gets me the gold stars. I was a straight A student. I've done really well in my job. And now I need to take a career risk that I may not fare as well, especially not early on. And I'm really scared of leaving my comfort zone of getting praise. So, what's happening for all of these women, and what I have certainly struggled with in my own life too, is that we're doing what I call getting hooked on praise or criticism. We're getting stuck around the feedback that we're receiving or our concerns about the feedback we might receive. And here's the thing, right? We know that when we're sharing our voices, when we are sharing any kind of innovative or new thing in the world, when we are just simply being more visible or more powerful as women, we know that all of those things bring polarized, mixed reactions, some of which may be hard for us to hear or receive. And so, to really walk that journey to our authentic playing bigger, most of us do need to look at, what is my relationship with praise and criticism? What's my toolkit for working with the feedback that comes my way? So that's why in the Playing Big model, we do a lot of work around unhooking from praise and criticism and talk about the practices that can help us get there. And I'll share with you today one of the big ones that you can start trying on in your own life and work. And that is this kind of radical idea. The idea is that feedback tells you not something fundamental or essentially true about you, but it tells you about the perspective and the priorities and the preferences of the person or of the group of people who are giving the feedback. So let me say that again so we can really get it. Feedback doesn't tell you anything essential about you or about your merit, but it's giving you insight, right? By definition, it is giving you insight into the perspective and preferences and priorities of the people who are sharing that feedback. And that doesn't mean that we throw feedback out the window. This is not a dismissive, like, well, that's just about you, that's your problem. So, but it does mean that we say, okay, this is data about the people sharing this feedback. Are they relevant stakeholders? Are they an audience I need to reach or an audience whose perspective I particularly care about? And if so, I can look at that as really emotionally neutral, but very potentially insight provoking and strategically useful information about those people that I want to reach. So, this works if we're talking about feedback from your colleagues or your boss or your test readers for the book you're writing or your customers or potential customers for a business. If your boss gives you the feedback, wow, you are such a great people person, but your technical skills could use work. We don't yet know facts about you from that. But we do all of a sudden have some insight into what your boss is thinking. We're starting to learn something about their perspective. And if we can remember that's all it is, we might start to even ask some curious questions. Oh, interesting. What do you mean by technical skills? And what are you observing is lacking there? So now not only are we suffering less from it, but we have room to go learn more about someone whose perspective we probably do need to understand. And if you are starting a business and you've put something out into the marketplace and nobody responds, that's kind of your first form of the feedback. But now we need to go learn more about that feedback. Is it that people didn't understand what you're offering, or it didn't speak to them, or the price or time commitment was out of reach? We're getting a lot of information from that feedback, and we want to use it to refine what we're doing. Because here's the thing, maybe in our fantasy world, we can have our playing big where we just intuit the right answer and the right way to move forward and bring our visions and creations into the world. But what really happens, especially if we're doing anything important, innovative, creative, is that we are going to do a dance between our vision and the world's response and feedback. And we're going to learn over time what works with the audiences or stakeholders we want to reach. And to do that, we need to be unhooked from praise and criticism. One, so that it doesn't stop us in our tracks. That's just too much of a loss. We need those creations and voices in the world. But two, so that we can use the feedback to really make what we create effective in reaching the people we want to reach. So that's why unhooking from praise and criticism is such an important piece of moving towards your playing bigger.